Let's listen to what AOC says, shall we? Emma?
You mean that sellout?
Let's listen to what AOC, that sellout, says on Chris Hayes last night about Joe Manchin and his concept of bipartisanship.
Is that H.R. 1 stands up against lobbyists and dark money. And I would reckon to think that this is probably just as much a part of Joe Manchin's calculus as anything else. Because when it comes to this bipartisan argument, I got to tell you, I don't buy it. Because Joe Manchin has voted for bills that have not been bipartisan before. Look at the American Rescue Plan. So this is not just about bipartisanship. This is, I think, because you look at the Koch brothers and you look at, you know, organizations like the Heritage Foundation and conservative lobby groups that are doing a victory lap, claiming victory over the fact that Manchin refuses to change on the filibuster. And I think that these two things are very closely intertwined. And I think that there's a desire to make this just about protecting the franchise, but protecting our democracy is also about making sure that we give lobbyists and dark money groups, which are funding these attacks on the right to vote, the boot. But, you know, corporate money has a very, very tight grip on both parties. And I think that has to do with the calculus in this situation that people aren't really discussing enough.
She's totally right. I mean, and frankly, we've been saying this for weeks. And particularly if folks, listen to Digby and I on the Peacock show and when she's come here, Joe Manchin's been signaling this for months. He has a problem with the For the People Act versus the John Lewis thing. And there's other differences certainly, but the primary difference is the disclosure stuff about the money and big money. And that is what it has been about for Joe Manchin. That's why he wants to kill that. That's one of the reasons why he doesn't want the filibuster gone, because he doesn't want that thing to pass. And that's it. I mean, of course, she's absolutely right. And good for her for saying that in public, because you're not going to get a lot of Democrats who are going to sort of accuse him of being completely disingenuous. And he is.
Well, they're not going to do it because there are a number of Democrats who are in that same boat as him. Even if they're posturing publicly that they want, they're in favor of the For the People Act, or that more specifically they would be in favor of filibuster reform, there is a lot of fear amongst these old school Democrats about what that would mean. And one of the things that it would mean would be that they'd have to grapple with election reform. And Joe Manchin, senators like Mark Warner, they're bankrolled by dark money and industries that they don't necessarily want being disclosed or hampered. And that's the reality of it. And I loved what she said there. She seemed to follow Jamal Bowman's, I think, position and talking points there. Not exactly, but they're trying to tie Manchin to corruption and to the Republicans. And I don't know how much that helps move the needle on this conversation for his purposes. Maybe he likes it. I don't really know. But it seems like at least there's some coordination from House progressives in how to respond to this.
Yeah, I don't know that it helps, but I don't know that there is a help. I don't know that there can be anything to move. So
what would be nice is if you had a For the People Act, and then eventually Democrats like Joe Manchin, well, maybe he'd still be in office, but you'd have more Democrats who are beholden to the people who would make his, complete posture moot.
Yeah. Hope springs eternal.